Hi, I'm Alisa, the queen of weight loss. If you knew what I knew, you could do it too. What you're seeing here is the motivation shot. I say this, and it's a miracle that this picture even exists, because in my world for 15 years, I didn't allow people to take pictures of me. Not really, not post pictures or anything like that. I didn't weigh for 15 years. So when one of my clients said, Alisa, I wish I could see pictures of you just in your everyday life, I had none at the ready, because I said, look, the way that I just didn't allow people to take pictures. So when I said this to my husband, I said, now I wish I'd have let you take some pictures of me. He said, honey, if you won't kill me, I will show you a picture I took of you when we were in New Orleans. He said, I didn't mean to take it. It was just, if you could actually see the real picture. My son is actually standing over to the side. My husband had gotten a new digital camera, and he was just taking a picture down the street. He said, I always meant to erase it. So, of course, my thought is, well, why didn't you just erase it right there on the camera? But apparently that's not the way you do it. You download it and pick the ones that you want. He never showed me this picture. So let me just say this to you. I am so thankful that when I viewed this picture, I had actually lost all of my weight, because I'm telling you, on my worst day, I never dreamed I looked like this. It's easy to live in this world of denial when you don't look at a full-length mirror. You're putting your makeup on one eye at a time. It looks pretty good. Again, such denial. I was that person that could be in the middle, my husband to the right, my son to the left. We're walking in the mall at a plate glass window, and I'm thinking to myself, well, the glass in his window looks normal. The glass in his window looks normal. What's wrong with the glass? Because I could never accept that I look like this. And I just never thought that I did. So many of us walk around feeling this way, that we look okay, or it's just okay. We never get a full view of what we really look like. So what you're going to see here in these pictures that follow are, piecemeal pictures that we had to beg from people to get. I had an insurance agency, and it's really funny because one of the things that, I always said to my new agents, there's just a couple rules, and one is to never take my picture. So it's going to be interesting as you see these pictures, what we had to do to actually get them from them. But anyway, I wanted you to see, what I actually look like, and why this is called the motivation shot. The name of this picture is Lost Creative Control. We're actually at my office out west, and I'm of course right there in the black, as you can see. And this picture was really never supposed to be taken. And the reason I showed this picture is because it was just one of those pictures that we ended up getting and not using. And it looks like I'm posing for the picture, which I am, because we had a photographer there that day. Now, the photographer did not take this picture. This happened to be some of my agents that had been with me for over 10 years in insurance, and they wanted to get a picture. Now, the reason I show this picture, again, obviously you can see I'm overweight there, but if you were to ask these agents if they really remembered me being that big, most of them would say they don't really remember that, because I always did such a good job of trying to cover it up, or at least I thought I did anyway. So I want you to see the next picture and how it looks a little bit different than this picture. You see how this picture makes me look a little bit less than the other one, maybe about 50 pounds. This is the picture that I wanted, because again, kind of wear black, turn to the side, you're in a shadow, you just look less. Again, it was all deceptive anyway. I always tried to look thinner than I really was, and you can sometimes accomplish it. Most of the time people know, but it was how I got through day to day, just kind of thinking that if I didn't let people take pictures, if I didn't weigh, then I didn't have to acknowledge how big I was. So see if you can spot the trend. I'm going to tell you what it is. Now, this picture, obviously, I knew somebody was taking the picture, but you know what? When food's in the picture, who cares? Every picture that you're going to see of me has food in it. Another picture with food. And another picture with food. But the good news is here, I'm at the Ronald McDonald House, so all this food is for good causes, and had already started my program here. So I had already started losing weight. So this picture is called "Where's the Food? Oh, see the rolls." You see that arrow pointing to that roll. Now look, I was familiar with that roll because I was intimate with it every night in the bathtub, but I never dreamed that anybody could see that. Now this is one of those events where we had team shirts on, and I didn't normally wear a button-up shirt like this, but this is one of those pictures that my husband had to beg one of our agents for because we didn't know this picture actually existed. So they're like, "Are you sure?" Like, "Yeah, we're sure you're not going to lose your job." So we're glad to have captured this picture because if I would not have seen that spare tire around the middle, I would have never believed that that was there. Now be honest, when you heard the name of my company, the Queen of Weight Loss, I know you rolled your eyes, right? You're wondering, who does she think she really is? Well, let me tell you, I show this picture because there's a little bit of a background story here. When I first started in insurance, there were no females. There just weren't. So the day that I passed my test, I went to the insurance company, handed them my test that said I passed. One of the agents was standing there and he said, "Oh, are you the new Queenie for the week?" I said, "I guess. I don't really know what that means." And he said, "Well, I'm picking on you." He said, "That's what we call all the women that come in here." And he laughingly said, "Women just don't make it in this profession." He said, "It's not that we don't hire them, they just don't make it." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, the one that lasted the longest was 6 weeks. I said, "Well, great, I have a goal." Well, after I made it 1 year with the company, they gave me this pillow that says, "It ain't easy being queen." Fast forward 10 years later, I'm standing at the Anatole in Dallas, and I am investing with the company. And by this time, I am running a very successful insurance agency with lots of women and lots of men because we all work really well together when we know how to work well together. And like I said, I'm investing with the company, so I'm standing backstage, but we're getting ready to go on where they give you the dom and they drop the confetti and the whole thing. It's a big, big deal to vest with the company, but especially being a female. So they walked back there and they handed me a crown and a scepter and they said, "Girl, you are forever the queen." I said, "Look, if I ever leave this company, I'm taking my crown, my scepter, and my title." So 7 years from the date of that picture right there, I created the Queen of Weight Loss. Now see, don't be rolling your eyes at me. There was a reason why I called this the Queen of Weight Loss. Lovely picture, right? Seriously, why didn't someone tell the queen she was fat? Now, I met this, again at the Anatole. We have a reunion every year. Now, this picture is one of those pictures that comes out when the company sends you an email that says, "Go to this website and look at the candid shots of the reunion." Well, you by now know better than that. I'm not going to go anywhere searching for any kind of candid shots because I know they're never good. But when my husband was putting this together, he found this picture. He went back to the website, found this picture. I am telling you, if you had a magnifying glass, now, and you could see, put it up against that face, you would see that I had 5 rolls in my chin. I'm not kidding. Now, I knew I maybe had 2, maybe 3, but never dreamed I had 5. So that's why I said, seriously, why didn't someone tell the queen she was fat? Now this one says, "Can you believe I let someone take this picture?" This was day 1. Now, let me tell you something. I think by now you know that I am not a fan of the camera. I have been married now for 22 years. My husband is an absolute rock star in my world. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't care how long you've been married. Nobody wants to stand in front of anybody, especially their spouse, looking like this. But at this point, and you can see I've got my eyes closed, I could tell you everything that was going on in that moment. I was mortified, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, but somewhere deep inside I knew that I had the answer. And it's one of those things that I never told anybody what I was doing. The only person that knew was my husband. I have so many women that say, it's not that my husband's not supportive, it's just that I've done so many things that I just don't want to see that look in his eye like, "What are you doing now?" I totally get it. If I could have found a way to take this picture without the help of my husband, I probably would have tried to do this protocol without him. But he took this picture. And like I said, I can tell you every moment that was going on. But again, I knew deep inside that I had the answer. And if I didn't have the answer, no one was going to know that I failed again. And if I was successful, everybody would know. So, if you're starting this program and you want to take a before picture, it's something that no one ever has to see. You know, when I show this, people go, the first thing they say in my office is, I don't have to take that picture, do I? You absolutely do not. But again, I knew that I had the answer, but I want you to know that even as you see this picture, I never looked at this picture or any of the pictures that you see here until I had gone through my very first round and had lost weight, because I just physically couldn't do it. I had not been on a scale in 15 years. I didn't want to see the pictures because I knew that it would derail me, because it would probably put me in the hospital if I knew the truth. So I just wanted you to see day one. Okay, this is the end of week 1. Now, I did lose 8.8 pounds, and I know this looks a little more impressive than it really is, because obviously you can see my stomach there. It's a different outfit. But the great thing about HCG is that it is pulling from secured fat reserves, so it's pulling from the inside, you know, the fat that wraps around your organs. So you don't see it. Like, I know you can see it in this picture, but in clothing, my face really hadn't changed, my arms hadn't changed. The neat thing about that is it keeps people's eyes off of you. I actually had lost over 22 pounds before anyone recognized that I had actually lost weight. So that's actually a good thing. So let's look at week 2. Okay, end of week 2, I'd lost another 6.8 pounds for a total loss of 15.6 pounds. End of week 3, I lost another 4.4 pounds for a total loss of 20 pounds. End of week 5, I lost another 6 pounds for a total loss of 32.8 pounds. 3 days later, I had lost a total of 35 pounds in 37 days, and this includes 2 days of loading, which you will find out what loading is all about. So yes, 37 days, a total of 35 pounds gone. And this is the side-by-side picture. So the before picture is the first day of protocol, and the picture beside it is the lock-in weight. So the day that you come off of HCG, we lock in your weight, and from that, you can go up 2 pounds or down 2 pounds. And you don't have to remember any of this right now. I'm just letting you see what these terms mean. Now, I know when you look at these pictures, if you were sitting in my office, you would say, girl, your boobs look bigger in the after picture. And I know it does look that way, but if you could draw a line and see that my stomach actually stuck out further than my boobs, you would see that that's not really true. It's just that my waist was getting smaller. Now, keep in mind, I ended up doing 3 rounds in total to lose 81 pounds. This is just the first round. So you have to understand that as the smaller that I got, the more my boobs stuck out. And to me, you know, I never had any complaints from anybody that mattered that my boobs were big, but to me, they felt big. And they had never felt big before, because I always had that role to kind of like let them rest on. I'm not trying to be indelicate here, but I'm just letting you know I was not that girl that wanted them to arrive first. So after I did my 3 rounds, I waited a complete year, and then I went and had them reduced, just because, again, I didn't like that heavy feeling. They actually felt bigger to me than when I had, you know, when I weighed 81 pounds more. So again, look at this picture. There's the side-by-side. Remember, when I started, that's the first day of protocol when you're on HCG, and the picture beside it is the day that I came off of HCG for round 1, and we locked in the weight. So as you see in this picture, this is the front view, and I put, no, my boobs didn't get bigger, my body got smaller. So we're going to look at some other fully clothed pictures. And I want you to know, I would just jump up in the morning and let my husband take these pictures, because I never looked at them until this round was completely over, because I just couldn't. So that's why I look so lovely with no makeup on. You know, in my whole lifetime, I never dreamed that my profession would be to show pictures of me. Don't you think this is just kind of funny? All right, the next picture you're going to see, I took on the same day as I took these pictures, except that it's going to have hair and makeup, so it's going to look a little bit different. Okay, like I said, you know I look good in this picture. This is the end of phase 1. And when my husband took this picture, after I'd gotten dressed and put makeup on and did my hair, and by the way, in this picture, my hair looks like it's spiked. Nah, that's just a plant on the fireplace. So I always have to explain that, because people say, how did you get your hair to do that? But anyway, my husband took this picture. He's like, honey, you know what? you need to look at your downloaded pictures, because this is just amazing. And it was the first time that I let him download the pictures to let me look at them, and I saw them all, and it brought me to complete tears, because never had I ever started anything that had to do with weight loss that showed these kinds of results. It was absolutely amazing to me, and I had not told anybody what I was doing, but it was the first time I took that picture right there and I sent it to my family, because my family doesn't live anywhere around me. And it was absolutely amazing. I just could not believe it. So I'm at the end of phase 1, getting ready to go into maintenance. Just another picture. Do I hear one hot mama? I want you to know I did not come up with these captions. So anyway, just more pictures here.